And here comes the bigger alien. Let's get ready. Let's pop Onslaught, Stun, and Shotgun, and wow, look at the damage. What's up everyone? We have a new update for Aliens Fireteam Elite. It includes 4 new weapons, a new class kit, and more unlockable mods and perks. So this video is going to cover a full guide on the Lancer class, along with testing out the new weapons. So here we go. The first weapon I use with the Lancer is the Pump Shotgun. It's got decent range, damage, and rate of fire. This class has access to close quarter weapons, so choose what's best for you. My shotgun is using these attachments: Precision Brake, Alloyed Chamber, yes, I stopped using the explosive rounds this time, and the last one is Hybrid Sight. The Lancer class does have access to the new X1 fireball weapon. The projectiles shoot in an arc, and the rate of fire is not so fast. The damage is pretty good, but you need direct hits to really make it work. Even though it's a new weapon, you burn through ammo really fast, so you might find yourself going to your secondary more often than before. The flame effect is a nice touch, but I feel since the projectiles have to travel through the air slowly, you tend to miss some shots. It's a weapon that requires much better timing, as you sometimes have to aim ahead of the target, but after using it for a bit, I just went back to my shotgun, which I feel is better for me. You can try it, but I don't think the X1 Fireball is that great. Moving on to the Lancer's abilities, this one is the Particle Lance. It fires a penetrating beam in front of you, damaging all enemies in its path. The beam passes through all foes, but is blocked by any terrain. Try to apply perks that will boost your damage and recharge speed as high as it can go, as the build I'm using here is meant for high damage. I also have this perk called Down and Out. You deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked. We can actually proc this perk ourselves with certain types of weapons. In this part here, I'm using the Impact Grenade Launcher. When you hit the enemy with a grenade, the blast will activate the extra 20% damage from the perk Down and Out, and your next shot should be the Particle Lance. You will see right here the damage is 14,458. You do have another choice. You can set one attachment on the Smart Gun to have a 33% chance on hit to stun the enemy, but this effect can only occur on the same enemy every 15 seconds. As soon as you see the stun animation, that's when you fire off the Particle Lance. The Smart Gun is rapid fire, so the stun should happen at some point, but the problem is it's not a guarantee on the first shot, so it's up to you which one you want to use. If you use the Particle Lance without activating the damage bonus first, you can see here I only got 13,770 damage. So for the extra damage, just fire off one grenade round. After it hits, launch the Particle Lance. This damage test was done on intense difficulty. Just remember that once you activate this ability, you are forced to stand still as it fires away. This build is good for large targets or the smaller ones if they are running in a straight line down a hallway. The M41E4 Heavy Pulse Rifle is a new weapon. It's got good damage, decent rate of fire, but lower ammo capacity, so you have to make your shots count when you use it. It's a good weapon, but it's not really meant for this current build. The weapon does not have enough impact to cause a stun to proc the perk Down and Out, so it cannot be used like the grenade launcher for a damage boost. I'm usually running the perk called Fitness Training. It increases incoming healing and max health by 10%. It improves stamina recharge rate by 20%. As you can see, my health is 1,650, but you do have other options. You can also use the perk Back Me Up, which gives your allies 20% more damage to enemies that are targeting you. So if your entire team is all on damage builds, then the other 2 players will get a damage boost just by you using this perk. Or if you're a team of 3 Lancers and all of you use this, then 2 of you will always have this buff active. I did test out downrange, but it seems to only affect weapon damage output. If it does any increase to the Particle Lance, then it must be from an extremely far distance that's not so common in the game, except for the final synthetic level, but I'd rather use the other 2 perks. Now we can talk about the Onslaught ability. It immediately reloads your current weapon, then slows your movement speed and fire rate by 20%, while increasing your weapon damage and damage resistance by 20%. Your weapons automatically reload after every shot for the duration of the effect. The duration of it is shown at the top of the screen and also a green bar under the icon on the bottom left. The last ability is Overwatch. While standing still or in cover, you gain 1 stack of Overwatch a second up to 5. Overwatch increases accuracy, damage, and stability by 3% per stack. When out of cover or moving, you lose 1 stack of Overwatch a second. It's good if you want to stack bonus damage while you remain stationary, but as soon as you move, the stacks fall off, but they build up again once you stop moving. If you look for the perk that's called Rapid Assessment, you can attach it to Onslaught. Once you activate this ability, you gain maximum stacks of Overwatch right away. Those are the blue bars at the center that display a damage bonus. This should be activated when you start encountering aliens. I did a quick test to see if Overwatch stacks increase damage on the particle lance. With only 1 stack of Overwatch, this alien took 13,770 damage. I tried it again while activating Onslaught to get maximum stacks of Overwatch. The particle lance did the same damage, 13,770, so perhaps these Overwatch stacks are only for gun damage. The next build requires the use of the Particle Wave mod. It fires a short-range energy cone in front of you, damaging all enemies in its path. The cone passes through all foes but is blocked by any terrain. Your damage resistance is greatly increased on activation. The struck enemies are stunned for up to 3 seconds. This build is all about getting armor to minimize the damage you take. Tenacious will give you more benefits. Onslaught now lasts 20% longer and grants 5% more weapon damage and damage resistance. Unshakable gives you immunity to most stuns, stumbles, and knockdowns, and it grants you 150 temporary health for the duration of Onslaught. Then apply the perk Shake It Off. 20% of received damage is stored in a recovery pool. After not taking damage for 8 seconds, you recover the stored amount as health over 4 seconds. Since we want to use Onslaught very often, you'll want to apply perks that speed up the recharge rate. Another perk to apply is Hit and Run Tactics. It grants you 20% stun recovery, 20% grapple damage resistance, and 10% movement speed. Fitness training will also help this build by increasing incoming healing and max health by 10%. It also improves stamina recharge rate by 20%. My first weapon is the Pump Shotgun. The attachments are High Velocity for that 6% stumble chance on hit for 3 seconds. This effect stacks 5 times. Alloyed Chamber for increased fire rate, magazine capacity, and stability. Then Hollow Sight for an extra 6% stumble chance on hit, which can stack up to 5 times but resets on reload. Second weapon is the Smart Gun. First attachment is Tanker Muzzle Brake. It's mainly to get that 10% stumble chance along with the 33% chance to briefly stun enemies on hit. This effect can only occur against the same target every 15 seconds. Second attachment is Miller Twist Rifling. We want that 20% chance on hit. Enemies can be slowed by 50% per 10 seconds. The last one is Bracing Armature, mainly for the max ammo and 5% damage resistance and 15% stability while standing still. This build is set up for your Particle Lance to give you damage resistance along with stunning enemies up close, and using Onslaught along with the other perks you have to give it even more damage resistance, health increases, and some health regeneration. The Shotgun has stumble chance, and the Smart Gun is mostly for slowing enemies on hit or possibly getting that 33% chance to stun them. It's not a build made for damage, but think of it as a support build to stun, slow, and stumble enemies, while you maintain a lot of damage resistance. It's for players that are not good at aiming the default Particle Lance for damage, but want something to boost their health and armor in some way. It relies on using Onslaught more than the Particle Lance, so if you're taking too much damage, you could try this build. The third build I have here uses the Particle Burst mod. It triggers a penetrating energy burst centered on you that deals less damage, but stumbles and irradiates nearby enemies. For 6 seconds, affected foes take damage over time and 20% more weapon damage. You can use this while moving around and firing your weapon. This build relies on having the particle burst available as often as you can, so apply those perks to increase the recharge speed. You'll want to use hit and run tactics for 20% more stun recovery, 20% grapple damage resistance, and 10% movement speed. Fitness training is going to increase our incoming healing and max health by 10%, and improves stamina recharge rate by 20%. Then add on Tenacious, so Onslaught can last 20% longer, and it gives us 5% more weapon damage and damage resistance. Another one is Unshakable, which gives us immunity to most stuns, stumbles, and knockdowns, and it grants us 150 temporary health for its duration. The last one is Shake It Off. 20% of received damage is stored in a recovery pool. After not taking damage for 8 seconds, you recover the stored amount as health over 4 seconds. So how does this build work? The particle burst is designed to debuff enemies while it stumbles them and does damage over time. I know it's not a damage build, nor is it a heavy armor build. This one is just meant to debuff enemies while you also slow or stun them with a smart gun from its 2 attachments. The large area of effect is good for getting multiple enemies off you if you are surrounded. It's another support build with some crowd control. And here is the last build, which has a lot of damage output with one weapon source. For this one, we are going to use the pump shotgun for damage on bosses. When it comes to your heavy weapon, you can pick anything you're good with. The heavy weapon is only backup damage for other aliens. Alright, so let's see the attachments on the shotgun. We have Ported Compensator that increases fire rate and stability. Alloyed Chamber increases fire rate, magazine capacity, and stability. Last one is Hybrid Sight. It improves the stats on accuracy and weak point damage. We are going to use the Particle Wave mod on this build. It fires a short-range energy cone in front of you, damaging all enemies in its path. The cone passes through all foes but is blocked by any terrain. Your damage resistance is greatly increased on activation, and struck enemies are stunned for 3 seconds. Apply these perks: Batteries included, and Quick Charge 2. Disrupting Radiation will slow enemies by 40% for 5 seconds when you hit them with this ability. The Technician CQW Training. This increases reload speed and accuracy of CQWs by 15%. Gunner CQW Mastery increases the fire rate and accuracy of CQWs by 15%. Technician CQW Mastery increases the fire rate and stability of CQWs by 15%. And Recon CQW Expertise increases the fire rate, handling, and ADS movement speed of CQWs by 10%. Then put on Down and Out perk. You deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked. The stun effect will occur when you activate the particle wave. And for Onslaught, apply these perks: Quick Charge 3 to increase the recharge speed by 18%, and Rapid Deployment for another increase to recharge speed by 20%. So this is how it works. When a large alien is within range, you activate Onslaught, then activate the Lance Particle. The mod you have on is Particle Wave, so if you're within range, it will stun them for 3 seconds. During those 3 seconds, you need to unload as much as you can, preferably on the weak spots if you can. Either way, you're going to do a lot of damage in those 3 seconds while they are stunned, but once the enemy is out of the stun phase, you can back up and continue firing until Onslaught wears off. The reason we added a lot of fire rate to our shotgun through those attachments and perks is because activating Onslaught will lower our rate of fire, so by increasing it in other ways, we can get some rate of fire back, and it will help us do good chunks of damage overall, but those 3 seconds during the stun phase are what matter the most. The X-45 Bombard is a new burst fire weapon that shoots 4 bullets each time. The damage output is average, rate of fire is good, and it has plenty of ammo. It's not overpowering yet, but it's an average weapon to use for now. If I find a good use for it later on, then I'll make a video on it. The last new weapon I tried out is the Mark 7 Mod 2 CQB pistol. It's a machine pistol with automatic burst fire. It burns through ammo pretty quick and it does not seem to be that strong. After 2 alien waves, it's almost out of ammo, so I don't see myself using this one that much, especially when there are better options out there. This update also gave us the feature of having multiple loadouts per character, so you can now make a build that focuses on sniper rifles, explosives, SMGs, boosting your armor or health, cooldown on abilities, increasing area damage, or anything you can come up with. Just mess around with the perks and mods to see what works best for you. If you can suggest any ideas that can help other people, then put it down in the comments section. To see more guides like this, just leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. This is my final opinion about the Lancer class. It is pretty fun to use. I like it. It's just this time, my expectations were very high when I saw that cool special ability. The only thing I was hoping to get was a mod that would turn my particle lance into something more awesome. Maybe something like this.
Proton cannon!